I want to bring in UNICEF spokesperson Toby Fricker. Toby, I mean, you can see this little boy at his party with a spaceship balloon, a big celebratory 3, a shirt that says, "The future belongs to us." What does the future look like for kids like him?
Yeah, I mean the past 3 years for kids like him have been devastating. As you were just saying, every 3-year-old, all they've known is war. Every 11-year-old, in fact, across the east of Ukraine, all they've known is war, and it's had a devastating impact. What we've seen is particularly on those early years of life, which are really the foundation for life, for development, for learning, when the brain develops the quickest. When you're exposed to war, it has a massive impact. I was just at a kindergarten this morning in Mykolaiv, and the kindergarten teacher was explaining how the kids came in. Many of them couldn't express themselves at all, as you would expect at that age. And it has a massive impact, a holistic impact, which can play out over years, that sort of intergenerational consequences that we talk about, which is why the response now is so critical, why the support for the youngest children, but also adolescents and across that sort of childhood journey is so important.
So what kind of support do children in Ukraine need most right now?
Well, I mean, number one, in terms of sort of the youngest children, what we saw, today again at the kindergarten was about how adults, how caregivers are engaging with children and being able to open them up again. And one of the positives, really, what we saw today again was how she explained that, some of these kids were really opened up over the last sort of year or so. They were starting to come out of their shells again, despite the ongoing sort of horrors of the war. They're able to provide that sense of safety, that nurturing care. But the reality is nowhere is safe. It hasn't been for 3 years. It's absolutely critical. When you look at adolescents who are looking to their futures, what are the skills, what are the jobs that they're going to move into or want to move into? It's about providing that support so they can engage with their peers, so they can be together with young people, talk about the issues they've had. We were at a youth center the other day, and young people were talking about mental health issues, mental wellness, but also about how they're all trying to live every day, make the most of every day, and play their role in the development of Ukraine as well, looking forward.
So, Toby, I don't know if you can see it, but we're showing a picture. We're going to show a picture that was taken a few days ago where you are in Odessa. You can see a massive crater from the fall of Russian drone wreckage, and it was just steps away from a kid's playground. How do you help kids talk about war? Is it important for them to talk about and the impact that it's had on them?
Yeah, so I was just at the clinic, actually, a health clinic close to the attacks the other day, and you see the damage to that infrastructure, but the real damage is obviously on society, on the access to the health services that children need, on the access to schools, not going into basements, into shelters. But what is actually critical is we're working with a whole sort of cadre, a whole core of social workers as well, who can provide support to adults, to parents, to caregivers, who in turn can help to better deal with children who are going through such extreme stress. So in Dnipro, in the city, we have a social worker training hub where they are engaging on how to then open up with children and discuss some of these issues. So I think the positive, if you can even put it that way, is that children do hold on to that hope, and they can recover with the right support, but it has to come now.
UNICEF's Toby Fricker, a remarkable work that your organization does there under the most trying of circumstances. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for coming on the program. We appreciate it.